dear brothers and sisters. And it's always a joy to be together with all of you. It's when the family of the great spiritual masters over the years has brought many, many of us together. And through the times of Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj and Sant Rajinder Singh Maharaj, many of us have been on the spiritual path. Many people, when they think about growing spiritually, they just think about, the virtues to be inculcated, like the virtue of non-violence, the virtue of love for all, the virtue of doing selfless service, and our attention is in that arena. And we forget the most important arena in life, which is gratitude. And so, gratitude to God is something which, when focused on, brings tremendous, tremendous joy in our life. As a person, many times, instead of focusing on what we have received, instead of focusing on what is good in our life, we are only focusing on what we don't have. Gratitude is a means by which we thank God. Gratitude is a means by which we are praying to the giver to not only keep us happy with what the giver has given us, but also to be protecting us and caring for us in the future. And so I'd like to relate an anecdote which talks about how two people who might think differently, interact with each other and think about life. It's an example that you might have heard before too. This example about many people being on a ship and traveling. These examples are coming from the past, and so there many people were on a ship traveling from one place to another. And there was a shipwreck. And in the shipwreck, most of the people on the ship drowned. Two of them were saved. As they found themselves around the ship, they realized they could see some land not far away. So they swam and they get to the land. And as they got to the land, they realized that and this was the time where there were no cell phones, and if there were cell phones, maybe there's no service in that area. And so they had no means of connecting with anyone. So they started thinking, what should we do? And they realized, there's a land, there's a little island with trees and other things. And so they thought, okay, just the two of us are here, let's see if we can build some kind of a shelter. So they go and somehow get some twigs and branches and other things, and make a little shelter for themselves. As they started to stay there, they started to realize that both of them did not know each other, even though they were on the same ship. And as they started to stay together, they realized both of them were very different. One of them was a pessimist. He was always complaining, how can God do this to me? Why did I get on this ship? And he's always complaining about this and that. How are we going to get out of here? And the other one was an optimist. He said, no, this is, it's a grace of God that the shipwreck happened right next to where we could see the land. It's a gift of God that we could know how to swim. And we could swim here, and look here, at least we are alive. And the person said, what kind of life is this? Look at here, we can only be here. We don't know how to reach someone. And the second person said, no, think of it this way. What if we would have gotten injured and then survived? And then, let's say we had a brain injury, we won't even be able to think. At least now, everything is intact, our system's working, we can think, we can come with a plan, we can do something to get out of this place. And so the person is saying, what do you mean get out of this place? Because, there's, we're just stranded, there's no one else here, how are we going to ever get out? So do you have a plan? So the person says, yeah, I have a plan. He says, what is the plan? He says, okay, in the morning, when we get up, we should go to the shore, and we should take whatever color clothes we have and we should like wave them, and maybe someone will see from far away and they'll come to get us. So every morning they go there to the shore, they're waving their clothes, no one comes. One day goes by, another day goes by, another day goes by. And so the pessimist is now saying, see, what kind of God do you pray to? No help is coming to us, we're stuck here, we have to eat whatever we can get here. And the other guy is saying, oh, this is a time to detox, man. There's no cookies, no donuts. This is good, it's cleansing our body. Because all we get is berries here, and all we get is some vegetables and some fruits, and everything is natural. It's a good life to have. And so they're going back and forth. And then one day, as they're coming back in the evening, because all day they're going with their clothes, maybe someone will see them. And they come back, and as they get close to the hut, they see that the hut is on fire. And all of a sudden they take some water that they had and throw it, but the fire doesn't go, and now they're watching, and the pessimist is saying, what is God doing to us? We had built this hut, and now this hut is gone, and what are we going to do? And the one who's grateful to God is talking about, maybe something good will come out of it. Thank God we were not sleeping in the hut when it caught fire, because we would have gone with the fire too. And so they're going back and forth, and then they finally, there's a lot of smoke coming, and all night long is burning, so they go under some tree and rest that way, and think the next day they'll try to do something about it and build another hut. So they get up in the morning, and the pessimistic saying, I am sick of everything here, I don't know what to do, I'm not going to do anything. So the optimistic guy says, okay, let's at least go to the shore and try our clothes again, maybe someone will show up. And the pessimist will say, I'm not going any place. He says, I just stay here because it's useless to go there. So the optimist says, okay, if you stay here, see if you can get a few branches together, but I'll go and I'll do all this. So in the evening when I come back, then we'll make this hut. And so the pessimistic stays there, and the optimistic guy goes to the shore, and as he gets closer to the shore, he sees there's a big ship there. And all of a sudden the captain of the ship is out of the ship and says, hey, can we help you? He says, yeah, we need help. We've been stranded here. And so the captain sends a little boat, and people come in, and as they come in to help this optimist here, he brings them towards where his other friend is. And as soon as the friend sees other people, he says, who are these guys? So he tells them, oh, they came in a boat. He said, they came in a boat? So they ask him, how did you come here? How did you come to the shore? And they said, oh, we saw so much smoke coming that we thought there must be something here. Maybe someone needed help, and that's why we came here. We were going far away, but the smoke was so much that the captain decided to come here. And so the optimist said, thank God for sending them to help us so we can go back to our homes. And it was then that the pessimistic also realized that help comes to each and every one of us, whether we believe in God or we don't believe in God. We are children of God. Okay? So God loves us tremendously. And so it's this, those of you who are parents, how many times in the year we buy gifts for our kids? Right? It's the birthdays, or it's Christmas, or Hanukkah, or Diwali, or some other functions that happen. And so what happens? You give a gift to your child. Now, if the child looks at the gift and just puts it on the side and it looks like they're not happy, they didn't like the gift, you feel very bad. Because as a parent, you want the child to enjoy the gift that you give the child. Okay? And so when the child likes the gift, then it gives you a lot of happiness. So it's the same thing with us and God. God is giving us so many gifts that we don't realize how good our life is And when we only focus on what we think we want, which might not be good for us, and then we are not full of gratitude to God, you can just imagine how God would be feeling. And so, gratitude is a part of life which is very, very important for us to understand. We should all realize that this creation has many, many beings there. The human beings is just one of the 8.4 million species. It's a great boon to us. It's something that we should all be grateful for, to be in this human existence. Our real existence is at the level of our soul or our spirit. And so that soul can transmigrate into any one of those 8.4 million of existences. And so being in the human body, which is called the roof and crown of creation, is the greatest of blessings that we can have. Because it is only in the human body that all the faculties that are required by us to know God have been provided. And there are so many species of animals and birds and fish, and they live only by instinct. So when they have an instinct to be, let's say, instinct of hunger, then they go and try to get something to eat. When they have an instinct of protecting themselves, then there's either they run away or they fight, the fight or flight syndrome. When they have an instinct to procreate, then they procreate. And so they live by just instinct. The human beings live by instinct too, but then along with that, we have been provided the faculties of being able to recognize ourselves truly. That in the East is called the faculty of Vivek, that a human being can discriminate between right and wrong, between good and bad. And God has provided that faculty to each and every one of us. It doesn't matter whether we're born in one country or another, if we believe in one faith or another, if we've studied more or studied less, whatever cultures we belong to, nothing matters. We all are children of God, so we all have that faculty to know God. And we need to be grateful for that. Because we who are in the human existence have an opportunity to get off the wheel of transmigration. Because we can know ourselves, we can know God, and then we can find the merger of our soul and God, so that we get off the wheel of transmigration. And that is what we need to be grateful for. That's the biggest opportunity which has been provided to us. Then the next thing to be grateful for is that today there are about 8 billion people, a little more than 8 billion people who are living in this world, who are in the human form. Not everyone is thinking about God. There are many people in this world who don't even believe in God. They believe like something happened haphazardly, maybe some planets collided and the earth came out, or no one understands the whole scene. There are many people who believe that whatever we do, that's what the results of life is. So to be able to be in a state where we think about God is quite a blessing, because we could be in a state where we never think about God, we never believe in God, and says, okay, life is just haphazard and anything can happen, and they go through life, they never think about finding their relationship with God, so back on the wheel of transmigration. So that's the second thing to be grateful for, that God has put us in a state where this faculty to know ourselves and to believe in God is used by us. The faculty is for everyone, but not everyone uses it. So we who can use that and think about God and think, hey, what is the purpose of life? Why am I here? There has to be more purpose than to just be born, go to school, study, get a job, get married, have kids, raise them and kick off. There's more to life than that. Yeah? So that's something to be grateful for. And then, as we start to think about God, there are many beliefs that people have all over the globe. So people think about God in many forms. Some have given them a kind of form that they like. They pray to God in that form. Someone prays to God in a statue made out of stone or something, and someone prays to God with going to certain places because in their faith those places are supposed to be holy. And so there are many pilgrimages people take to find God. Okay. Now what is very interesting is when you dig deep into any faith, there is always what is this inner side of the faith, the esoteric side, which talks about the life of the saints and their experiences. If you look at the experiences of each one of the founders of the faiths and their followers who came in the beginning, they all talk about having communion with God. Wherever they had the communion, but they all talk about knowing God, having a relationship with God. Now that is not physical, that's at the spiritual level. If we would read all of our scriptures, each and every one of them is full of trying to find God, trying to sit in silence, whether you call it meditation, whether you call it praying with attention, whether you call it like inversion. They all talk about sitting in silence to be able to know God. Okay? And so that part somehow gets missed. We feel we've done and right and ritual. Let's say we go to a place of worship and we go there and wash our feet and get in and we light a candle or we do whatever else is there, and we go in there and we close our eyes, we pray to God, then we come back, we say, boy, I did a super job, I'm done for the day. Not realizing that's only the outside part. God is within each and every one of us. God is not away from us. Sant Rajinder Singh Ji Maharaj said very beautifully, he says, मिलेगा रूह को परवाज दे के देख जरा, करीब है, उसे आवाज दे के देख जरा. He's saying, you will surely find God. God is closer to you than your jugular vein. God is within you. But we need to sincerely cry out to God. And when we sincerely cry out to God, when there's a passion to know God, when there's a zeal to know God, then we will definitely find God. All we have to do is give a flight to our soul. Because God is conscious. God is not a physical being, so we can't see God with these eyes. We can hear God with these ears. We need to experience God at the level of a spiritual consciousness. So we need to take our attention, which is away in the physical arena at this time, and we need to get into the spiritual arena. And that's what meditation is all. And so we should be grateful that we at least are at that point where we think, hey, this is important for us. Where we realize that we are soul, that we're not the body. And then those of us who've been lucky enough to find guidance through a spiritual master, we should be very grateful for that. Because then we have some guidance. Because in the world, there are all kinds of teachers. We can learn chemistry here, we can learn physics here, we can learn maths here, we can learn languages here. They're all talking about the physical environment in which we live. And to live there, we need to know those things. None of them is talking about the spiritual environment. So when we get a spiritual guide and a spiritual master to help us, that's a great boon, because then we can be connected. And that's what the process of initiation is. The process of initiation is not like a ritual. The process of initiation is one in which the spiritual master imparts some of the spiritual consciousness that they have developed, or they have gained through God's grace to us, so that the sanchit karmas, which is the load of our karma, which is the biggest load of our karma, is washed away. We all have three kinds of karmas associated with us. The biggest load is the sanchit karma, which is called the storehouse of karmas. And these are the karmas which we've collected. Every time we've been in a human existence before, we have karmas. We have thought, words and deeds. And so we create karmas. And so that karma gets into storehouse of one lifetime, another lifetime, it gets bigger, 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 bigger. Now out of that, a part is taken which is called pralabdha karma. Some people call it pralabdha, some people call it prarabdha, the same thing. So this pralabdha karma is a part which we can call the fate karmas. This is what is going to be passing through in this lifetime. And we believe in this path, that 75% of our life is preordained. We don't believe that 100% of our life is preordained. Because we believe if we say 100% of the life is preordained, or we feel like that, then we won't do anything. Say everything's preordained. So the belief is that there's 75% of our life is preordained. But we have 25% free will to make the decision that God has given us this opportunity to be in the human body. Are we making good use of it? Are we going closer to God, or are we going closer to the world? And so this pralabdha karma is going to play out in our lifetimes. And then in that 25% free will, we are creating karma every day. We all have thoughts, we have words, we have deeds. So we create karma. And so these are the three karmas which are associated with us. So at the time of the holy initiation, the impartation of the spiritual consciousness that we receive through the spiritual master wipes out our sanchit karma. Help is provided to us to take care of the pralabdha karma. Okay? They can be taken away too, but if they take them away at the time of initiation, we'll physically die because there's no more karma left. Okay. But help is provided. And this is what we call miracle stories. And this is what we say, this drastic thing was going to happen to me and I got saved. That the help comes to us through their grace. And then we are asked to lead a pious life, a life full of virtues, so that on a daily basis we are asked to meditate, connect with the divine light and sound within ourselves, so that we will be burning the kriyama and karma on a daily basis. And this is where spending 10% of the time, like close to 2.5 hours daily, is talked about, so that the daily karma that we create is burning off. So when we get to the end of our lives, our sanchit karma has been wiped out at the time of our holy initiation. Our pralabdha karma is getting wiped out daily, because every day, we're going to pass through whatever, whether it's going to be some good times for us or bad times for us that'll happen in our life. Help will come to us, will pass through us. And the kriyama and karma that we're doing on a daily basis is being wiped out as we meditate daily. And so at the tail end of our life, we're asked to do Simran, so that no thought comes to us, because even if a thought comes to us, we would be held accountable for. And so we should be grateful that we have an opportunity to understand this life, and we have the guidance to be able to gain from this holy existence that we have in the human body. Because this is a great opportunity to know God. So first we have the human body. That's a great blessing. That's what we should be grateful for. Then out of the 8 billion people, we have a chance to know about ourselves and know God. Then we have a chance to come to the holy feet of a spiritual master, so that we come attend the satsang, we start to know about spirituality, we start to learn more about the spiritual aspect of life. The fourth one is that we get initiated into the mysteries of the beyond, so that we are now in a position that we can focus on the spiritual journey. And the fifth is that after getting initiated, we put in an effort on a daily basis to better our lives, to make spiritual life important in our life, to have the first attention in our spiritual life and then on anything else. And this is why many times when you look back at history, they always picked up the early morning hours to meditate. Why? For two reasons. One is that that's the quietest time of the day, because meditation is nothing new, it's not coming in the last 50 years. But people have been meditating for thousands of years. And at that time, there's no concrete, there's no roads, people would live in the jungles or villages, and the early morning hour was the quietest time of the day. That was the time of the day when the birds are not chirping and all that stuff. So that time of the morning, before the sun is coming out, before twilight, people meditate at that time. It was quietest time of the day. And also, most people in those days would work on the farms. So they got early in the morning, and whether they're milking the cows or they're sowing seeds, and so they were used to early in the morning start the day. And so meditation would be the first activity of the day. So the most important thing that you want to do in the day, you're done with. And then you start doing other things. Because otherwise what happens is, when you start by doing things of the worldly affairs, then they never end. And so you never get the time to meditate. And so today, because people are working 24 hours a day, and you could have jobs, let's say working in the hospital or in, let's say, shopping center which are open 24 hours. You could have jobs where it's not practical for you to meditate early in the morning. Then one should pick up a time in which we are not tired. It's a good time to meditate. And as we put that on a regular basis, then we'll know that the most important thing to do we are focusing on a daily basis. And as we look at gratitude to God, we find that, our life is much, much, much better than most of us think. Many people think of the difficulties of life, but many times when we're going through that, we might think, hey, why has God not made our life better? And then a few years later, we realize, hey, whatever happened was the best thing that could have happened to us. We are only knowledgeable about whatever we've learned in this lifetime. Because when we come into this world, there's a curtain which is put, so we have no memory of our past existences. Okay. So whatever gains we have in this world, that's all we know. And so we relate everything to whatever we've learned in this world. But that's a very small part of what has happened with us. Our soul has transmigrated from one existence to another, and we've been away from God from eons and eons. So we've gone through many lifetimes, and there's much that has happened with us. God is aware of all that. What has happened in the past, whatever is happening now, whatever will happen in the future, God is aware of all that. And so God knows what is best for us, because God wants us to go back to God. That's why we have this human existence. So the principle of not my will, but thy will be done. How sweet is thy will? That we need to focus on. We need to recognize that everything that is happening in our life is for our highest good. And for that we should show gratitude to God. And those who do that, we find that their lives are peaceful, their lives are loving, and their lives are calm. So when we start to really focus on what is the purpose of our existence, and we start to take steps in fulfilling them, the key is to sit in silence, the key is to meditate, the key is to find the connection within, and each and every one of us has a direct connection with God. The master power is there like a conduit to help us find the connection. Their job is to help our attention be focused on God. They're not here for us to connect to them. They want our attention or a connection to be with God. And so they're like a guiding force or a guiding light or a helpful messenger to tell us that we are all connected with God directly, and that connection comes on the inside. So let us meditate for a few minutes. Please sit as comfortably as you can. Close your eyes very gently, just like you close them when you go to sleep. Your eyeball should be straight, focus 8 to 10 inches in front of you. And those of you who have been initiated in the mysteries of the beyond, please do your Simran. Those of you who are new here, please repeat any name of God that you feel comfortable with. This repetition of God's name should be done mentally and not out loud. I pray to God Almighty to help each and every one of us connect with the divine power within and to experience the divine light in its effulgence. We'll be sitting for a few minutes, and it's my prayer to God Almighty and to the three great spiritual masters of the past century, Hazur Baba Sawan Singh Ji Maharaj, Param Sant Kripal Singh Ji Maharaj, and Dayal Purush Darshan Singh Ji Maharaj, to help each and every one of us experience the joys and the peace and the tranquility of being with the divine light and sound of God within. We'll be sitting for a few minutes. I'll be getting out of this meditative state, and my best wishes are with each and every one of you. Please leave off. Please leave off.